Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. All right. And there we go. There's that. Fun topic this week. Kind of a departure from some other stuff, but I think it'll be worthwhile for a lot of people. I spend my time trying to help everybody with, hang on, chat. Let's see if somebody, I'm always panicked about the chat to make sure that somebody doesn't say, hey, your audio is turned off. And I'm rambling away. Good morning from Las Vegas. Good morning to you, Las Vegas. All right, guys. For those of you who don't know me personally, have not worked with me for a while, I am an addict, an audiobook addict. If there was a 12-step program, I should register. I believe I've got about 1,200 books in my audiobook collection. I always have one going. Riding my bike, driving in the car, flying on a plane, I'm always listening to a book. That's the way I can get through books without having to set aside time for the books. And I share them constantly with people. Typically have 3-4 books going at a time, and every now and then I hit one that really speaks to me, especially when it coincides with issues that I've been running into. So in helping everybody set up all of their social media and marketing and ads, and I'm always trying, and I'm not an ad copywriting guy. That's not my thing. I'm much better copywriter, probably most of you, than me. Not a wordsmith, but people are constantly dragging me in, or I'm being forced to get involved with the copy because I see copy and posts and things that just are off base. And the big issue is everybody wants to talk about themselves. It's always about me. I'm great. I've got these awards. I do this. I can do that. And nobody cares about you, per se. That old adage, WIIFM, what's in it for me? People care about themselves. And therefore, a lot of our copy falls on deaf ears because we're always talking about us, what we can do. Here's my latest listing. Here's why I'm a great loan officer, whatever. And there's a book out there called Storybranding, and there's a lot of material on story branding, and it's been around forever. And I think it was first highlighted decades ago by Joseph Campbell, a hero with 1,000 faces, and has been used by Hollywood for decades now as the standard plot for every story. One, we engage with stories. Stories are what drag us in. I try to use them all the time. It's kind of reflexive for me, but stories told properly are what drag people in. And every great story kind of has the same plot where, you know, there's the hero and things are going well, and then things go bad, and somehow they fall out of good graces, or the problem comes up, or fall in hard times, whatever, they're cast out, and then a guide comes along and guides the hero back, and they win the day in the end. Well, in marketing, this is particularly effective, but Donald Miller, who wrote Storybrand, has done an unbelievable job, built an entire agency around this concept of story branding and put it into a formula. And when it comes to your websites, your social media presence, your brochures, your language, when you talk to people, man, he nailed it. And because he put this into a formula and put together tools to follow the formula so that it was actionable and implementable, I wanted to highlight this to everybody and suggest that everybody go take advantage of this epiphany or whatnot. For starters, go to YouTube, type in Donald Miller or story branding, and here you can see I've actually got some stuff up. Standard one-liner exercise, how to create, and you can go back and see when I did a search for Donald Miller. Got a lot of videos. Suggest you start by watching a couple of these videos to kind of get the concept and really get it driven home. It's something that I can't do in the short amount of time we have here, because this is supposed to be a 10 or 15 minute quick tip. So start with that. Your tip is first, learn what story branding is all about. And gosh, I was just looking on my phone and still have a screen open that was talking about story branding and telling the story. And gosh, do I have it open? Let me go back. There we go. It's all about how to make your customer, and this is the biggest issue. We always want to be the hero in our story. I'm the hero, you'll use me. And nobody cares if you're the hero. They want to be the hero. They care about them. And our language is always about us and what we can do. And this particular article is picking on them by pointing out our natural inclination is to make our own brand the hero. Copy like this is pretty common. We've been the Tri-States irrigation leader since 1989. We're a world-class web design agency committed to great strategy and craft. We make the world's best cup of coffee, and on and on and on, with examples like this where everybody always wants to brag about themselves and talk about who they are and what they do. And that's not what somebody cares about. What they care about is themselves, and how do we make them the hero? Helping you get to where you want to be, helping you get what you want. How do we make them the hero? And without getting into more of the why on this, I'm trusting that you will tap into the why on your own. I wanted to point out that there is this cool little tool that Donald put up at mystorybrand.com that they made free. And it allows you to create your 7-step story brand. This will give you all the language that you're going to use. This will give you the language in your ads. This will give you the posturing for your social media position. It will change the way you think about marketing yourself, positioning yourself, helping people. And what's cool about this tool, as you can see, you got to start with the character. What do they want? And I need to answer that. But if I click on that, it's going to say, what do your customers want as it relates to your product or service? And you start by answering that. And what do they really want? And I was playing with some here and go, oh gosh, okay, if we're doing this for me and what I do for you, people like you, what do they want? They want to be a recognized leader I want to be a recognized leader in my market who people seek out to help them with their real estate and mortgage needs. That's what they want. That's really what they want. They want more in business. They want to be a leader. You want to be a leader. You want people to reach out to you so you don't have to chase leads. Problem. And by the way, when you're trying to come up with your one-liner, your elevator pitch, what do I do? So what do you do? I'm a real estate agent. I'm a mortgage. No. You always start off with the problem, the solution, and the reward, the outcome. What are they going to get from it? And it's all about them. It's not about you or who you are or how you can deliver. So the problem or the villain in the story. And when you click on this, and I've already started filling this one out, so the text is missing, but I started to fill this out with who is the villain. The villain is obscurity. People don't know you exist, so you spend your life chasing leads. Who is the villain from an external standpoint? Let me go back to the blank one I've got here. Villain. Is there a root cause of your customer's problems? Can you personify this root cause as a villain? What is the villain in your customer's story? External, what is the problem your customers deal with as it relates to your product or service? How is the villain making your customers feel? And that's a really important one. And then philosophical, why is it just plain wrong for your customers to be burdened by this problem? Loan officer, what's the problem? Mortgages are a distraction, are a pain. They get in the way of your real goal of your dream home. This should be the most exciting purchase of your life to date. We need to get the mortgage out of the way so that you can focus on, I'm here to take the stress and the grief out of the mortgage process. That's what I'm here for. So you start by filling out 1, the character. 2, you move down to the problem. What's their problem? Their problem is they hate dealing with mortgages, or their problem is they want to find the perfect home that is a great deal, whatever their problem is. And then they need a guide. And that's the whole nature of this. The whole concept behind this is, how do you position yourself as a guide, not as the hero? You are not the hero. They are the hero. You're the guide who's going to help them get into the home of their dreams at a great price. That's with a minimum of headaches. That's what they want, and you need to be the guide. So empathy, I need to convey empathy. What brief statement can you make that expresses empathy and understanding? And then you move down to authority. How can you demonstrate competency in solving your customer's problem? And some of these, if you want to just jump in and do it, that's fine. But honestly, you need to watch some videos, read the book, refer to the book, or you can actually click on play video on any of these and meet a guide, and you can watch a little, stop playing. You can watch a quick little, there you go, video that kind of explains and gets your head into the right place. Some of the videos that are tied in here are a little light. I suggest you go to YouTube and watch the bigger ones. Whoops, I went too far. My Storybrand, there we go, let's get back in. And it will help you with this. So the guide, what are you going to do to empathize with them? How are you going to create your authority? How are you going to make them respect that you are a good guide? But this is probably the least important. Who gives them a plan? What's the process? And let's go back to the blank one here. Who gives them a process? 3 or 4 steps, not a lot, just 3 or 4 steps that can that they can take that would lead them to a sale or explain how they would use your product after the sale. And then the agreement. List the agreements you can make with your customers to alleviate their fears of doing business with you. If you are willing to, blah, 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 you will, I will, you will get. And it's just simple and straightforward. And again, if you just try to do this on your own, probably not going to make as much sense to you. You're not going to know what to fill out. And look, start by going through and filling this all out if you want, but then go and watch a couple videos on what story branding is, on what each of these steps is, on how to fill out each of these sections, and do that. I know this sounds like, oh God, Bill, this is just so fluffy. And no, probably the most important thing you can do for your business right now is realize what business you're in and how to make people feel like it's all about them. How to position yourself so that people want to work with you because you can guide them to be the hero in their own story, which is what they want. And then calls to action. What do I do? What is the call to action? Transitional calls to action. Again, that makes no sense to you, but the direct action is call me to start showing you homes, call me to apply for a loan, but transitional, click to download a copy of, follow to subscribe, give them something light to opt into. You've probably heard me tell this story before. It's one of my favorite case studies, but researchers go out and knock on 1,000 doors and say, hey, we're trying to get people to slow down in the neighborhood. Would you be willing to put this big sign in your front yard asking them to slow down? And 2% of the people said, yeah, okay, put the big sign on my front yard. And 98%, no thanks, see you later. I gave it the office, whatever. They go knock on the next 1,000 doors and they say, hey, we're trying to get people to slow down in your neighborhood. Would you be willing to put this little bitty sign in your window, little suction cup, like the baby on board signs? Would you be willing to stick this in your window, asking people to slow down and showing that you support this effort? And sure enough, 53% of the people say, oh yeah, sure, give me the sign, I'll stick it in my window, and they do. And then they go back to those same people the next month and knock on their door and say, hey, thank you so much for taking that first step. Would you be willing to up your efforts a little bit and help us some more and replace that little sign in your window with this big sign in your front yard? Sure enough, 46% of them say yes. 46% of the 53. What is that? 20% of them, 21% of them say yes. That's a 1,200% increase at the end of the day, if I did my math right. But anyway, you slice it. The key is giving them that little step first. So you need to have the transitional or the small call to action and the big call to action. Remember, when we're doing all of our posts on Facebook, about 20 to 25% of our posts need to have a call to action. Do business with me. Those are the ones where we say, look at my latest listing. Call me if you want to. Find out what your home is worth. Click here to get your CMA or AVM or whatever. That's a big part. You're not going to do business if you just put yourself in front of them. You've got to ask them to do business with you, but give them a lesser transitional ask as well. Follow, download, get something little. Give them a small decision to make instead of meeting them and saying, hey, my name's Bill. Would you like to get married? Start off with, would you like to go on a date? And ideally, your post will have both calls to action. You know, hey, let's get married. And if you don't want to get married, how about a date? It needs to have both buttons or both calls to action. Then you're going to move into that ends in a success, and that's a big deal here. List the possible changes your customer will experience. This is where you got to get them to feel like they're in your, excuse me, get them to think about what they would feel like if they worked with you. And everything we do in marketing is about this. How would my life change? What would happen? And when you start paying attention to brands out there, BMW used to be the ultimate driving machine, and they realized that that was all about them and all about the car, and they're shifting to the ultimate driving experience. It's all about you and all about the fun you're going to have and who you're going to be and how you're going to feel. You're going to have more time. You're going to have a better life. You're going to be more excited with your home purchase than if whatever that is, that's what they want in the end. You're going to help them avoid failure, and this one's important just because fear of loss is 10 times greater than the hope of gain. Sadly, we're far more we're far more motivated by avoiding pain than we are by experiencing pleasure. It's not just what I'm going to get, but what I'm going to avoid. So that whole idea of negative consequences, avoid long, drawn-out, painful mortgage process that blows up in the 11th hour and your transaction falls apart, or you miss your dream home because you were talking about that kind of stuff. This is, and again, always back to watch the tutorial and going to YouTube and watching that. But this is such a cool tool. I wanted to take a segue today, separate from everything else, and ask everybody to do this so that when we're creating your ads, we've got that right language. And I got to tell you, I've been a story branding guy forever. I've always tried to lean on stories. I've always tried to stay customer centric. I use this website, this tool called WeText, which is a very funny name, but you can drop any piece of text into it, your content, your whatever, your article, and it will score it based on how much you talk about I and me and us versus you and we, or excuse me, you, them. How much you talk about yourself instead of talking about them. That's the whole key. How do we make everything about them, your happiness? It shouldn't be pictures of you and your rewards. It should be pictures of happy borrowers, happy home buyers, happy people experiencing your past customers, their quotes. It's all about them. And that's the hardest thing, I don't know, top 5 that I ever deal with people. And this is a tool that helps make it really clear. And at the end of it, your character transformation, because at the end of the day, that's what we all want more than anything else. We want to be a different person. We want to be a better person. We want to have a better life. What's the transformation? And the from to, and this is where you're going to get your one-liner. And they kind of have you do this at the end and then go back and redo this would be my suggestion, because this changes everything. But from how is your customer feeling about themselves before, from somebody who's what? Frustrated, doesn't get, whatever, to somebody who is, and what are they going to feel? A little tough in our business, I gotta say, tougher than some other businesses. But if you Google it, you'll find a lot of story branding examples. If you read or listen to the book, you'll see more, hear more, read more examples than you would know what to do with. If you just, like I said, just Google it, you'll do like me and find all these examples like BMW, like, oh gosh, how come my phone, there we go, Fidelity Bank and helping you get to where you want to be, and Under Armour, and Lego, and where Lego, it's all about, you know, look what I built with this and the experience, and it's all about them. It's not about what Legos do. or Vanderbilt MBA. They didn't brag about how far they could take me. They asked me where I wanted to go. And again, how it's centered and how it focuses on the person and what they want. Here's BMW with focusing on the driving experience instead. And it just goes on, and the web is full of this stuff. But no matter what, just take the time to go to mystorybrand.com, sign up for the little free account, and you can sit and create Storybrand after Storybrand after Storybrand. And then you can go through, and like I said, it's, yeah, well, I work with people. What do I want to do? How do I want to help transform them? I want to take them from being frustrated and never living up to their potential to being a market leader who's an example others want to follow. That's what I want to do for people. I want to help them move from being frustrated because they know they're better than what they're performing right now. They know they can do more business. They know that they can be a market leader. I want to help take them from, and I got to tell you, this helps clarify what my job is too, and how I need to talk to them, what my calls to action are. Ends in a success. Your business and confidence will expand as you transform the way you do business. Help them avoid failure. Spend your life on the lead chasing treadmill, always looking for the next great widget that's going to change your business. That's what I want to help them avoid. I'm going to give them a plan. What's the process? Commit to a change. Learn the secrets to social marketing. Generate the business you need with just a few hours a week. What's the agreement? Invest this time and you will never be forgotten or overlooked again. That's mine. Empathy. You've tried everything, but you still aren't getting the results you want and deserve. Authority. 30 years turning worthy professionals into market leading brands with teams, blah, 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 and it goes on. Problem, obscurity, lack of high quality prospects. And I gotta tell you, this has just been a really fun exercise. And I've got different versions of this for different professions that I filled out for myself. And I'm far from done. And I will do this and I will redo this and refine it for myself. And I'll end up doing it with others and getting it down. It's just worthwhile. So there's the hot tip for the week, mystorybrand.com. Sign up for a free account, access the tool, and go in and do the exercises. Watch some YouTube videos, watch their tutorials, read their content, watch some of Donald Miller's talks on the web or read some of his articles, but create your own 7-step story brand. Create your elevator pitch. Get clarity about who you are and what you provide to people and how you're different. This is incredibly powerful, and it's much of what I'll be teaching next week. So, by the way, side note, next week, what we've decided to do, because I have no time to work with people one-on-one and to do these things for them, and I try to teach in these little events how to do this stuff, but it's just not enough. So I'm going to keep putting out these tips, and we're going to do more. And I've completed my new MailChimp setup and have everybody input. And I'm going to start dripping on you with lots of goodies and tools and things like that. But people need one-on-one help. So throughout CMG, we essentially created a Train the Trainers program. I think I might have mentioned this last week. We're going to do our first 2-day workshop next week for marketing people at CMG. Some of them are on teams, some of them are in offices, they might have other roles. And yes, it's open to loan officers that want to learn, but the whole idea is we need trainers that can do this. So we're going to do these as full 2-day workshops where you get 14 hours of hands-on. Bring your laptop, bring 3 people's account information that you can set up, and we're going to do it. We're going to go extract their LinkedIn contacts and build their custom audiences and build their target audiences and set up their boosting and set up their content feeds and launch them where they are reaching out to 2, 5, 10, 20,000 people and staying in front of them and turning themselves into a recognized market leader with those 2, 5, 10, 20,000 people by staying in front of them in a positive manner. And so that when one of you, loan officers, realtors, whatever, says, man, I watched the trainings, but I really just want somebody to help me do this, that there are people throughout CMG that can help. So like I said, we're training our first batch in San Ramon on the 23rd and 24th. And then we will do these as often as we have more people that want to opt into them. And then we have a separate mastermind group where everybody will be able to attend each week and share and brainstorm, and we will continue to teach these marketing people to be able to support you, including folks in the marketing department who can do this, so that, yeah, I'm in a remote office where there's not a marketing person around. You will be able to tap into somebody in the marketing department who can screen share with you, so that your real estate agent can come into the office and you can sit down with somebody from marketing who will take control of your screen and walk you through this and do this for you, just as if you were in the same room, so that everybody can get the help to just do the first pieces, because that seems to be where most people break down. It's just getting started. Look, this is not tough. You get a whole bunch of people, reach. Who am I going to reach? You impact, what content, what am I going to post, what am I going to reach out, what ads am I going to run, and frequency, I need to touch them over and over and over and over. Yeah, I need my Facebook set up, email if I'm using email or a CRM, but what am I posting, what am I sending out, what am I doing? So we're going to start training people. If you are a marketing person, or if you know a marketing person that is not yet signed up for this one, and you want to make it down next week, I realize that's too late. It's ridiculous, but if you want to, yeah, reach out, let us know. We'll get you squeezed in. If not, the next one for sure, and you can start tapping into these and know that there are going to be a lot of people besides me to help you moving forward. So it's not just me, everybody. Like I said, this is kind of new, and we are figuring out as we go, and training's not enough. There's too much to learn, and you can't do it in these little stints. We need somebody that's there, that's local, that can say, come on, let's do it. We'll log into your Facebook and then just do it. Do it with you, so that you know what you're doing. And the whole idea is, by the end of the month, we'd like to have a half a dozen or a dozen people that are able to help you do this stuff. So with that said, and I've already gone way over my time. Dang, that was the shortest I could imagine. What is the website that scores your message from about you to being about them? We text. I know it sounds weird. We text. You can drop your text in there and they will score it. I haven't actually done it recently. I hope it's still there. That's the one I use. I'm sure there's other tools out there, but it just gives you a quick score to make sure you're using all of the right language and that it's about somebody else. Plus just making sure that whenever you write something, whenever you say something, that you're always talking about them and not you. You're the guide to help them be the hero. That's the key. Can you share some examples that you created? Well, you just saw me doing it. I was doing it for myself. And this is brand new for me, guys. I'm sharing something in real time that, like I said, I just read this book and just started playing with this, and have some of the other consultants I work with and mentor starting to use it as well. And I will start to get some, because I'm not working with many people directly myself anymore. But I will get more examples and be able to share those in the future, if you'd like, of what it looks like for a loan officer or realtor when they actually complete their story brand, and what they do and what their one-liner is. And I will indeed share that. Let me see, do I have any other comments or questions? No comments, no questions. I don't know if that's good or bad. Oh, wait, there's another question. Being on the real estate end, I do hope you continue to put out material that we can access. Yes, definitely. Um, I've been adding things to Marketing 3, but because I've been building it up into a Facebook that I still haven't launched because things keep changing, um, uh, I have probably not been updating that smart sheet as much as possible. But do make sure that when you go to marketing3.com, that you click on every comment bubble, every paper clip, every link, and download those tools. There's such cool stuff in there, such cool stuff. And I will start adding more. And as you guys hit me with more questions and more stuff, I will put up the things that relate. Every time somebody brings something up, more things pop into my head. I got a friend who wants to join this group. How do you go about doing that? cmg.social. Is that it? cmg.social is the registration link. Not .social.com, just cmg.social, right? http://cmg.social. Go to cmg.social and you can sign up for these trainings. How do we get registered for the train the trainer thing? We did this one very, very quickly, Jody. I apologize. Chip Larson put this together. Thanks to Chip and Carl Stryker for putting this in. If you guys don't know, Carl's the new California regional manager. Unbelievable gentleman. If you haven't met him, super resource. But they put this together. I'm asked them to keep this first one a little small just so we could get the first one under our belt and kind of learn. I want to invite loan officers and everybody else to it. I think we're trying to minimize the number of just LOs wanting to learn for themselves. But there will be some announcements going out. Like I said, this is just kind of a, you always start light, you always test. So we're starting with this first one and trying to stick with more marketing people to make sure that we do have more people that can support everybody. But the whole idea is training the trainers. Intensive, 2 days, regular meetings, constant contact, getting into the more advanced topics, and really training marketing people with the specific how-tos, not a lot of this high-level theory stuff. To make sure that they know how to do, and that way I don't have to support as many people. If there's a couple dozen marketing people, I can answer all their questions. I can come up with, and we can do things as a group, and then they can support everybody else. And what all the information we need from the agents we want to do their Facebook stuff for, and what all information do we need from the agents we want to do their Facebook stuff for. And I think the question is, what do we need if we're going to do this? Because I asked the people that are coming to this training to please bring some actual things we can work on. Well, they can work on their own stuff. The truth is, if you had a friend that owns a florist or a bar and tavern, you name it, car dealership, accountancy, whatever, you can do this for anybody, but the main thing we need is, and you can get it at the class by reaching out to them, but we're going to need to be able to log in to their LinkedIn and their Facebook. That's enough to get things set up. To the extent that we want to get more advanced, yes, people who can do an export from a list, we can take a CSV file and upload that. Yes, when they go back and work with clients specifically, we can get more specific about what they want to do, but we'll just build their audience based on what we think is best for them out of the gate, and then it can be tweaked. But we're going to be building those audiences, finding content worth sharing, teaching people how to create that content, teaching them some video stuff, how to help clients get videos up who don't know how to get videos up. And then how to set up the auto boosting so that the stuff in their account automatically gets boosted out to their newly created audiences so that they don't have to know how to go in and run ads and do whatnot. And we will also teach people to do just straight up lead gen ads as well, and use some tools. So the main thing you're going to need, I guess the answer to that question, is access. You need to be a manager of somebody's page, and you can either go into your own Facebook ad account and then send a request, hey, I'd like to manage your page, and they can accept, or they can just go into their Facebook account and say, make you a manager. Anybody with a page, you can make anybody else a manager. For those of you that have seen my own, when you go into like my Facebook account, stop, get rid of this. I got too much stuff going on here. No, that's not well, you can see my pages. Let me just go to Facebook here. Facebook, Facebook. And this is what I'm talking about. Facebook is not fast right now. See more, you can see that I'm the manager on quite a few pages, and it goes on and on with my different accounts. But anybody can make you a manager of their page. We need to be a manager on their page so that we can go in and create the audiences for them and do all the rest of that fluff that I was talking about. That's the main thing. So the people that are attending, I ask them, hey, grab a couple of LOs, grab yourself, grab a friend. It doesn't matter. We just want to do this 2 or 3 times so that you know, and we can do it imaginary, hypothetical, or whatever, but that's it. And then because I've become a huge fan in recent weeks or months of using LinkedIn as a source to populate your Facebook, since LinkedIn already has so many tools to go out and find everybody you know, not just your LinkedIn contacts. I'd like you to get access to the LinkedIn as well. If people want you doing this stuff, they got to give up access, and they can shut it off or change their password later. But in this day and age, it's forget it. You've got to have somebody that has access to your stuff if you want marketing assistance. And if not, learn how to do it yourself, and you can do these things. Okay, let me look and make sure that I've answered all the questions. And I apologize, it's got a little long. Oh, wait, what do we got here? Sorry, I know it's weird when I look up, but my monitor goes all the way up to here. Can you show examples? I've got a few. Read on the real estate end. Do I have to continue to put out material that we can access? Yes. I will definitely start doing more of that. I've got a friend who wants to join this group. Yep. How do we get registered to train the trainer thing? I hate to dump everything back to Carl and Chip, but at this point, it's kind of their deal, and then we'll have it formalized for the next one, and then we'll invite in more people and do it bigger. And by the way, the managers for some of these marketing people are invited to attend the first couple of hours so that they know what they're being taught. They just don't have to go through the training. And what all information we need, and thank you, and that's it. I think I've got everything. Yay. Comments, Zoom chat. Nope, that's it, everybody. No more questions. Thanks for showing up every week. Please do go out, and when you get your Storybrand, you can share it. It's got a little share button. Once you've got it up there, you can click and share your Storybrand. Please do share it with me. I would love to see your Storybrand and give you some thoughts or input, and start to help you build some examples so we can share those examples with everyone. But I think everybody needs to go through this branding exercise. You need to know who your brand is. I think on our branding stuff, aside from colors and fonts and the other things we do, what's your tagline? What's your value proposition? I think this is just, moving forward, it's going to be a standard part of my branding process with any business or business person. You need to have this. It's just done right, and it's simple. And that's it. No more questions. Last chance. Going once, going twice. And beautiful. I will end the meeting. Thanks, everybody. I'll get this posted.